Indian journalists clamber excitedly over Pakistani tanks captured intact and abandoned after last Sunday's battle. It took 4 days before Mrs. Gandhi admitted for the first time that India's soldiers had crossed the border with East Pakistan. And not until yesterday was the army ready to tell its version of the story to journalists, who, with few exceptions, have been banned from the border areas. Even then, the men who took part in the skirmish weren't allowed to talk to us. We were briefed by Colonel Clarence Proudfoot of military intelligence.
End of the enclave as you look towards Pakistan in front of you.
The colonel told us that it was only when fire from a squadron of 14 Pakistani Chaffee tanks began to fall on Indian territory that the Indians went into action. The tanks on display had been abandoned by their crews when a bridge was blown up by the Pakistanis, preventing the retreat of their own men.
Approximate hitting range, 1,500 yards.
Spread around the tanks were Pakistani arms captured during the engagement: Chinese machine gun ammunition and 105mm howitzer shells, grenades, and 3-inch mortar rounds. The Indians claimed that local sources had confirmed the Pakistanis suffered 76 casualties, while only 3 Indian tank crewmen had been slightly injured. The Pakistanis claimed to have killed 130 Indians and wounded 500 in the same battle. It's not surprising that in this period of phony war, the Indians should be undecided about when and what to tell the world of their sorties across the border. It's easier to hand out tea and cakes to a busload of journalists than allow them to learn the whole truth. I asked how it was possible for the same number of similarly armored Indian tanks to completely destroy a Pakistani squadron.
We decided to outflank them from the right. And our PT-7s moved over to the right flank and started moving towards the village of Garidpur. And when they found they were being outflanked, they turned and started retreating, going back again. And when we swung left, and we got them broadside on, and we had better shooting.
You knocked out all 11 tanks.
That's
with
right.
only a slight damage to one of yours.
That's
Isn't
right.
this very remarkable?
When you think of it, that there were 11 tanks against 14, and we had the advantage to the shooting.
Since last Sunday's battle, the Indians have announced another clash with the Pakistanis further north at Hilli. But the colonel was adamant that all Indian soldiers are now back on this side of the border, here at Boyra, marked with white crosses erected on the boundary stones. The question is, will they soon take the offensive in earnest?